5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get up on the chat. Sweet. We are now live. Awesome. We're finally live on our own page. Finally got the 100 subscribers on our page, and now we get to do this on our own page. Wait here for about a minute or so. Allow people to start jumping on. Alrighty. So, welcome back. Another show 16, Northwest Arkansas BMX Podcast. Over here, Springdale, Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas. Man, what a wild 2 weeks we had. Of course, a lot of announcements going on. Man, a lot of topics, a lot of hot topics the last couple of weeks. Man, of course, we had the World Qualifier in Florida. Of course, there's been some think over the Team USA jerseys and the announcement of the 2026 World Cup Series. Of course, we got some news on the Jones Center Bike Fest, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. And I dug into some of the UCI World cycling stuff. We'll discuss that as well. Yeah. Of course, Supercross has been a little bit hot in the last 2 weeks. So that's a little bit off topic for BMX, but hey, that's all on two wheels. So first, I want to start the show with thanks to our supporters, sponsors, All Things BMX podcast. They do a great job with the podcast. I enjoy listening to them. A lot of hot topics out there that other podcasters not really talking about. But I have some special guests on there that's showing different perspectives. Beer Budget BMX podcast over there on the West Coast with Rick Carter. Man. Oklahoma S Squared, awesome team. Core Bierman with the amazing team up here in Northwest Arkansas with Charles Bierman and the Strackers. Northwest Arkansas BMX, our track ain't breaking ground just yet, but hopefully pretty soon in the next few months, hopefully. The Jones Center for Families and the Runway Bike Park, awesome facility, ice skating, swimming, gymnastics, pump track, you name it, they have it. And if you're in need of some side hacks, check out Hack Shack over there on the West Coast. Get you hooked up over there with the side hack. So one of the first things that we had like for today, I know I haven't really done this in a couple weeks, but that's because it's kind of early in the season. Some hot topics are really rolling in. So, was that last week we had the UCI World Qualifier in Florida. Number 1 out of 2 qualifiers in the United States this year. You know, for one time, I'm a little bit disappointed with like some of the motos, specifically my age group. I didn't see no 25 to 29 men's class and cruiser, which I'm a little bit disappointed in. But hey, you know, if they show up, they show up. But they had like 52 motos for Worlds. which I don't know if that's average or not because I haven't really paid attention closely to the worlds. So I guess that's good. But yeah, we even had a Arkansas rider jump in on the whole world's qualifier down there in Little Rock, Arkansas. We had Rob McCauley. He also does the Fat Dad's number plates for BMX. Awesome guy, awesome business down there. So yeah, he qualified. He's the only Arkansas rider that qualified. So that's always awesome to see him out there doing his stuff, getting the qualifiers, represent Team USA. And that brings me to the one of the stinks in the last couple weeks. We had the Team USA jersey designs coming out, and yeah, I'm on that train of I'm kind of disappointed in the design because like, come on, it's Team USA. We got to show the red, white, and blue. I think it's kind of a little lazy design, being honest. I mean, I enjoyed some of the designs from the past, like 2016, 2019, especially what year did we go to this to Scotland a couple of years ago? Those jerseys were awesome, but come on, this year kind of looks like a repeat of what 2012, I believe, the Olympic jerseys. But what do I know? But yeah, like red, white, and blue, guys. Red, white, and blue. That's all you gotta have. Not a faded red, white, blue, just straight up red, white, and blue. But man, what are the last couple weeks for a Supercross? I know we're jumping topics on BMX, but it's Supercross season. It's a good topic to kind of bring up every once in a while with the show. So yeah, Supercross, man. I'm really paying attention this year for Supercross because there's some heavy hitters this year. There's some veterans for the last 10 years, I think. But man, Anaheim 2 last night. Woo! Man, what a heck of a race night. With Hayden Deegan's win with the 250 main, all the way to Chase Sexton's win in the 450 main. Holy cow, that was wild. That 450 main was wild. I mean, with of course Tomac right there in the podium spot, Webb going down in the main event the last 2-3 laps. Man, and what a ride Plessinger had in the heat races. Oh my gosh, that was a rough wreck for sure. Man, but yeah, Tomac's still leading the charge of the points. So is Hayden Deegan. Man, what a race last night. I know me and my cousin, we were going back and forth with the whole like, who do you got for like the top 5 in the wild card into the main event last night. There was a couple riders I was kind of surprised that didn't get up in the top 5. But going from Supercross back to BMX. So the schedule for the World Cup for this year it's out, and I'm really excited that the last 2 rounds are actually here in the United States versus anywhere else. So get right up on that. Round 1 and 2. I can't really pronounce this place because I've never heard of it. Geography is kind of not my thing. So Serene's June 6th and 7th. Of course, Papandole round 3 and 4, June 13th, 14th. Then we get a little bit break on the World Cup tour for round 5 and 6 in China. The location hasn't really been announced yet. So it'll be October 10th, 11th. And then we are back in the United States of America for round 7 and 8. This is kind of like, 2 years ago when we had it here in Tulsa for the Olympic qualifier plus the World Cup title. I was there. A lot of other people were there. That was an amazing weekend. Some of the top riders that you see at Grand, some of the top riders you see in the Olympics, they were there. That was an incredible experience. I'm glad that I got to be a part of that and got to watch it. So yeah, round 7-8, Sarasota, Florida, October 31st and November 1st. That's going to be a fun one, guys. If you guys are down here in Florida, go enjoy that. It's always fun to watch the World Cups. So this is a kind of another topic that's been going around on Beer Budget, All Things BMX, No Holds Bar. Like, is BMX dead? I've been thinking about that for the last 2-3 weeks since they posted on No Holds Bar, and that's a good question. Like, I've been into this sport for like 13, 14 years, watched it all through the years. Of course, paying close attention to the brands. Of course, the mothership, USA BMX, USA Cycling. In the last couple of years, I've been seeing USA Cycling not really giving a crap about BMX. USA BMX, I gotta give them credit where credit's due. USA BMX has been putting on some good stuff and good races. So, I mean, yeah, USA BMX is trying their best without the help of USA Cycling. With the team, with Team USA, I mean, it was pretty sad last year. We didn't really have that many riders going into the World Finals, especially the main event at World Finals. We only have a couple of good riders on the men elite side. And of course, I'm going to get into that later on in the show. But yeah, before COVID, it was pretty much like it was there. It was growing. Then COVID came around. Man, the sport really bloomed, blossomed. And some of the brands that I've seen over the years kind of was there and then it kind of disappeared around COVID. I'm pretty sure like Stats, Kuwahara, DK was semi there, but like throughout the years they kind of disappeared from the scene at Grands. I believe Delaney Vaughn's still on that team. I'm not really sure, but yeah, you don't hardly see all those big name brands, especially after COVID. And then, of course, after COVID, you had Send It, you had Racing making a comeback, Mongoose making a comeback. You had all these other Huffy. Huffy's a big one of the post-COVID area. But it's kind of where BMX is kind of where it was before COVID hit. So that's what I think. It's still there. It's all there. I mean, post-COVID era. That's where we're at. So is BMX dead? No. BMX is still there, but it's not. It's not as big as it used to be back in the 80s. Back in the 70s, 80s, it was huge. 90s, it had a little bit of a die-off area. But hey, 2000s to 2020, it was getting up there with the nationals, the motos. The motos haven't been that great at nationals the last couple of years, but I think with a little bit more promotion support, I think it could get back up to where it was back in 2020, where BMX really grew. I mean, we had close to 1,000 motos at Grands back in 2020. That was unheard of. I think we were what 10, 15 motos away from 1,000 motos. That was insane. So that's kind of my thoughts on that whole thing. But everyone else has their own opinion. But yeah, going from that to Jones Center Bike Fest. I know a lot of people heard about this event last year. Of course, we put on a vintage bike show last year. That was amazing. We had Travis Chaprice out there with Hyper and the whole Hyper bike stunt team. Pump track racing. Oh, man, it was so fun last year. So the last couple of weeks, I've been in a few meetings trying to help plan this year's Bike Fest. And this one's going to be fun. It's going to be one for the books. Hopefully, if we get enough riders showing up, of course, we're going to be out there doing a show. We're going to have fun. So right now, the dates stand, and the dates might change here in a couple weeks, but this is like unofficial dates, but still, for us, it's kind of official. So October 16th and 17th is the Jones Center Bike Fest. We will have the Hyper Bike Stunt Show on October 16th. Come out. There'll be a free barbecue, free dinner. Come on out. Pump track will be open. I know Northwest Arkansas BMX will be out there with a little booth promoting the track. We'll be out there with, of course, doing a show the day before the pump track race. Saturday, October 17th, will be the Northwest Arkansas Vintage BMX Show and BMX Swap Meet. So a lot of people last year requested for the event to be a swap meet too. So that's going to be added on to the Vintage Bike Show. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people came out for that from 4 different states: Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas. We had 42 bikes that showed up, which was amazing. So we're going to have some fun with that. Jones Center seeing it as a huge thing. Before they didn't really see it as much, but it actually outshined the pump track race last year, and that was totally, totally awesome. So, man, yeah, Jones Center Bike Fest last year. This year is going to be fun. We're getting some new sponsors. Unfortunately, I know I said this in the last couple of shows that we were trying to get a UCI pump track qualifier, but unfortunately we didn't get it this year. And that's all fine and stuff, because I knew from the get-go that it was going to be hard to get one here. Even though this is the home of the 2018 Red Bull World Championships, we've only had one other UCI qualifier here besides the World Finals. So hopefully we get it next year. It'd be awesome if we get it next year. If not, it'd be great to have it. Man, it would actually be great to have it here in 2028, because you have the Olympics going on. You have the World Champions going on. That would be so, so awesome if they had the UCI Pump Track World Finals here in Springdale, Arkansas once again. That would be a huge statement for Springdale and the Northwest Arkansas area. course. Turn this off. Forgot. So yeah, going from the whole Jones Center Bike Fest, got some UCI cycling stuff going on. Of course, with first world qualifier out of the way, second world qualifier coming up in a couple weeks, and was that Houston, Texas. So I've looked into a little bit of the UCI stuff in the last couple weeks. So 2026 World Finals in Australia, and then of course there's no location for the pump track finals just yet, but hopefully it's soon. That'll be nice to announce that location. But going past this year to next year in 2027, France is a huge event once again. If you guys remember a couple of years ago in Scotland, Glasgow, um, the Super Worlds. Now here comes another Super Worlds in France. Of course, there's going to be 21 cycling events going on. That's huge. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people in France for that. Of course, you have the pump track finals, which is already scheduled for next year. Which is huge because you got BMX racing, BMX freestyle trials, mountain bike, cyclocross, pump track. That'd be awesome. Just qualify out for Worlds in France. So that might be something in the cards for next year, hopefully. I kind of want to see where the locations for the World Qualifier for France is going to be for next year. That'd be interesting. I mean, if it's just right down the road or in Tulsa or something like that, I'll be there. Guys. So yeah, 2027 World Finals in France. Of course, you have the 2027 World Cup rounds in Turkey and Sarasota, so it kind of follows up with the World Championships in France. So that's pretty cool. And some other stuff that's been kind of going on the last couple of weeks that some of you guys kind of kept up with the Chili Bowl brawl, all the fights that went down. Man, that was insane. I seen that video the night that it happened, and I have a couple friends that went to the Chili Bowl, and they said, yeah, that was insane. I thought Grants was insane with the parking lot fights, but holy cow. Or even on the track fights, man. What's up, Beer Budget? Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, the Chili Bowl brawl, holy cow. I've seen a couple different videos. Like I said, I had a couple friends that were around the area where the fights were breaking out. Man, insane. I didn't even have that on my bingo card yet for this year. But yeah, of course, we have the Bentonville Bike Fest in June 9th through the 14th. Come on out, straight rhythm, mountain bike, cyclocross, gravel race, you name it, they have it. I wish this year they actually had the side hack straight rhythm. That would be epic. Imagine side hacks going off the big hill at straight rhythm. I think that would be probably one of the best ideas. I know Torker would be out here. S Square would be out here. All the guys there in Tulsa, OKC would be driving all the way out for that event. But this year it looks like it won't be happening. But glad that they're moving that from May to June because the last couple of years with the tornadoes and the rain. And hopefully we see Huffy back out here with the captain, and hope to see Jay Smooth, Marshall Gerke show back up. Last year was a banger with straight rhythm. Of course, we have Coop Fest in May, which that one's a fun one to do. I'm going to be promoting that a little bit at a time on every other show, hopefully. Man. And of course, there's some other shakeups going on with like some of the brands. Of course, you have Mabo buying out Stay Strong, so hopefully we'll see a Stay Strong carbon frame. I know a lot. There's a few people here in Northwest Arkansas that are Stay Strong BMX fans, and of course they're big fans of Mabo. So that was really interesting, and I'd like to see what happens with Stay Strong and Mabo throughout this year. I think that'd be really cool. Like I said, we may see a carbon frame for Stay Strong. So, and then of course, like this is what I kind of noticed with Marshall coming out with their frames, and then of course I know about Daylight and their wicked cool frames. I think those two frame companies are really making their frames pop and making, even though they're expensive, but making their frames pop. Yeah, I enjoy seeing all the kind of cool designs that they have over there, Marshall and Daylight. So over the last few days, of course, I listened to other podcasters, uh, All Things BMX, the Beer Budget BMX Show, and took some notes on some like really up there topics that I didn't even think about a few days ago. Like, how could we promote BMX and make BMX good, better than it is right now? And Thursday's show was pretty much with the All Things BMX podcast over there with special guest Marshall Gerke. And one of the things that kind of really stuck out there was when he mentioned him and Chris and Justin was talking about the merchandise for the pros. Chase is kind of start that off with like the copies of Barry Noble's jersey or Joris Dade or Isaac Kennedy, all those copies of their own jerseys. And then Barry Nobles with his 95 T-shirts. I think if USA BMX Racewear actually got acquired a few of their merch, they'd sell out like hotcakes. I know when I went to Grants this past year, there was a lot of stuff that was bought from Chase. You couldn't hardly find a T-shirt from Chase that had Barry Nobles or Joris Dade or Isaac Kennedy. They were selling out pretty quick. But of course, there comes from the merch to the social media status, which some of the riders don't, some of the amateur younger riders, those that don't go to nationals or pay attention, would probably end up watching videos of BMX pros such as Drew Polk, Niet Keeman, Barry Nobles, for example. I mean, you go to a national, first national, novice class or intermediate class, whatever class, and you don't really know the pros. You don't really know anything about the pro class, like who's running it, who's running the top, who's the top dogs there. But of course, you watch videos like Barry Nobles, Nick Keeman, Drew Polk, and you go out there and you're like, oh, that's Drew Polk, or oh, that pro class. Let's watch Barry Nobles. Barry Nobles is dominant this weekend. You know, social media is one of those big things that now in the late 2000s to now has become a big thing, and a big shout out to all the pros, vet pros. I think pros should have their own merch. Every single one of them. Marshall Gerke was mentioning he was at the Chili Bowl last week, and every single driver had a hoodie with a sponsor on it, trying to give their own shout outs to their own sponsors. Free Up BMX, what is up? Thanks for joining the group chat. Yeah, Chase by far has the best merch. I mean, they've been really promoting their own pros out, and I wish every other brand could do that because that would help their own brand, not just only their own brand, but their own riders as well. And of course, you have Nick Long out there doing the duffel bag dash, and going across the countries. I love how Marshall mentions this from the other night at All Things BMX. Like, Nick's doing this duffel bag dash on his own. Of course, you have the Jersey auction right before Grands. You have Nick Long going through the country back and forth, just raising money for the duffel bag dash at the end of the year, which is fantastic. I mean, that was really cool of him coming up with that a few years ago, and it's been growing ever since. So hopefully someone else steps up as well. I mean, the pro USA BMX is trying their best for the pros, make sure everyone gets paid, but it ain't like the duffel bag dash, and I give all that credit to Nick Long for the duffel bag dash. Yeah, man. I actually been doing punching in numbers and stuff for the merch. Hopefully, maybe June, July, we'll have some merch. So stay tuned for that in the next few months. So yeah, I think we're gonna do hoodies, t-shirts, and special edition hats, maybe. So yeah, going back to like the pro event shirts, some of the event shirts that USA BMX Race wear puts out. I mean, it doesn't sell. It doesn't. All the shirts don't sell. They should do half and half of the event shirts and half of the shirts. They should put pros, the top pros on. And one of the other things I thought this was really cool and really unique because all you guys that are Supercross fans that watch Supercross on the weekends, like, there should be a red plate for the top guy in the points, and not the Rock, but I think that'd be really cool to, like, say, come to a national, see that red plate, but it's in the pro class or the vet pro class. Dude, that would be cool to just watch. Let's see. Bounce back over to, like, okay, beer budget. Rick Carter, I tuned in last night, listened to some really good topics on there. I thought it was really, like, really out there. Like, some of these brands are trying to make way for their riders for the Olympics. LA 2028. That's coming up in the next couple of years. That was a little good topic that I thought it kind of popped. I really enjoyed, like, your special guest breaking that all down. That was fantastic. And some of our elite riders, I mean, ain't even to the level they should be. With, of course, we got two big name riders in the men's class, both Cameron Larson, Cameron Wood. They're already ready for the Olympics. But of course, we have Drew Polk right there behind them. So hopefully we see those three going at it, uh, getting ready for the Olympics. Yeah, I mean, there were some good topics over the last couple weeks. I really enjoyed watching the beer budget show last night. All Things BMX podcast Thursday night had some really interesting topics, some things that I didn't even think of. I know, Free Up BMX podcast is doing their whole thing later on tonight. I think, what was that, 6 o'clock tonight? So yeah, hopefully go over there, catch them live. I know they have some special guests over there, some hot topics. I don't have much else for today. I'm at 8 o'clock Central. Thank you. Yeah, so go catch them live 8 o'clock. I know I haven't really tuned into them just yet, but tonight be the first. So hope you guys jump on. Of course, I'll share a link to their live stream. Yeah, I think that's about it. Going through the topics. Yeah, excited to see where the season goes. Of course, we have Show Me State Nationals in Springfield, Missouri here in a couple weeks. I'm not going to be there this year, unfortunately. So, good luck to anyone going out to Show Me State Nationals. I'm just not a fan of their track, and unfortunately, it's not the builders, not USA BMX. It's just the staff of how rude they were last year. Unfortunately, I don't get to go down to Cajuns. I've been to Cajun Nationals a couple times. Last time I went to Cajun Nationals, it was not much of a great time. Um, it was, I don't know. I just didn't have a fun time down there the last time. But my first time down there, great time. Of course, I wrecked hard in the practice. Still came out in second place, two second places that night. Um, yeah, that was a wild weekend. My first time around. Yeah, I mean, like I said, my first case of nationals was great, but my second, of course, it was not due to the facility of the track. It was stuff that happened like outside of the track. So the story goes like this: like me and a whole big group of my buddies over in Oklahoma, we were downtown West Monroe, no, downtown Monroe, and got out of dinner, was walking to the car, got in my car, and almost got mugged right there in the parking lot. And yeah, some stuff kind of went down. So I kind of avoid Louisiana for some of those reasons. But I mean, that happens anywhere. I mean, OKC, that's happened, but I came out on top. Yeah. So, I mean, I love going to the track down there, Twin City BMX, up in the Shreveport. I really enjoy Twin City BMX, small indoor track, all dirt, no concrete. no slurry. It's always fun down there. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even get that one. So I guess Cajun Nationals this year is the college championship weekend. That's awesome. Of course I didn't look at that on the schedule, but yeah, that's downtown Monroe's horrible. Of course, yeah, for sure. But yeah, of course I enjoy going down to West Monroe to places like Duck Commander. Of course, fan of Duck Dynasty, so that was really cool and fun with me the last couple times I went down there. Last time I went down there, I'm almost didn't make made the trip back because my key fob messed up, so the car was actually locked. Actually, no, not the car was locked. The car wouldn't start. So yeah, that's always a fun time down there. Twin City BMX occasions. Legacy Nationals, I believe that's May 1st and 3rd. That's not even in the cards for me too this year, unfortunately. Yes, yes, yeah. It was the college championships. I remember it was in Springfield, Missouri, at the Show Me State. That was kind of unfortunate, like with the showing there. Of course, I had Charles Bierman on the show uh, last year talking about that. That was kind of a disappointment because some of the young riders that are coming up and that are wanting to go to college and want to ride for a university, they don't know where to start. USA Cycling is the foundation of where to start. That was kind of disappointing showing of USA Cycling. But yeah, getting back to the Legacy Nationals, the last couple of years the moto count has been down. Um, yeah, like I said, I don't really have any nationals in my cards for this year because I have so much else going on. Of course, playing the Jump Center Bike Fest, Guy Cooper's, and then of course the overseas BMX show in August. Not really in the cards, but I will be at Grands this year. That is for sure. Even if it's for side hack or joining the beer budget, all things BMX Podcast Show. I mean, I'll be there. But yeah, just not a whole lot for me this year. I'll still do the show, but I think we're about out of topics here on the show. Unless you guys have any other topics to bring up, I mean, but yeah, guess I'll jump off here unless you guys have any other topics. Yeah, the facilities last year at Show Me State Nationals, it was more of the staff, the security thing, because of course you had the Vegas Nationals happen to that, which no one was allowed in except for a bottle of water. Same thing at Show Me State Nationals. That was kind of disappointing. Gold Cups, Gold Cups are not really in the cards for me as well. I mean, I would love to do Gold Cup. Don't get me wrong, because it's at a track that I earned my very first Gold Cup number plate. But if I do any Gold Cups, it's probably going to be Cabot, but I'm not sure. Since Cabot's only like 3 hours away, or 2.5, 3 hours away, I'm not sure, something like that. But Yeah, Gold Cup's not in the cards this year as well, unfortunately. But I haven't done a Gold Cup finals. What is that? 2, 3 years? Oh yes, the runway bike park. Like I was about to ask, like which pump track? Because we have so many up here in this neck of the woods. So, of course, we have the runway bike park just right down the street here in Springdale, and then of course we have the Centerton pump track. We have the Thaden School pump track, and if you go across the state line into Missouri, you have the Pineville pump track, which it's a quarter-mile long, straight pump track. Heck, you can even fit your own side hack on there. It has been side hack tested. But yeah, let me know whenever you guys make your way up here. Um, I know I'll be gone for the Sand Springs Gold Cup. I think that's like August 8th. I'll be gone overseas like July 30th through the August 15th. Oh yeah, we also have the rail yard bike park, all asphalted bike park. Come on and check that one out. That's almost like a pump track, but it's all fun and stuff. Joplin, Missouri just got their own bike park with a pump track. I haven't checked that out yet, but I know a lot of my BMX friends up in that area. They really enjoy that bike park. I've seen a couple videos of them just absolutely eating the wood on one of the skills courses, which that whale tail is kind of kinked to the side just too much. I think they were trying to replicate the rail yard and they messed up on the angle. But yeah, come on up, check it out. Um, have you guys checked out the Jacksonville, Arkansas, and the Jacksonville Hot Springs and Little Rock, Arkansas pump tracks? Um, check them out because I know they're all really cool. I got to check them out last couple of years. Um, personally, I like the Little Rock one a little bit better than Jacksonville or the Hot Springs. They were just a small. And I don't know if you guys checked out the Sherman, Texas, or the Pineville. No, not Pineville. Paris, Texas. Paris, Texas. That was a fun one to go to. Of course, went there for the UCI Red Bull Pump Track Championship qualifier back in 2021, and that was an action-packed weekend. Small town, but awesome, awesome weekend. So, but anyways, yeah, guys, if you're just jumping on, check on the Free Up BMX podcast going on later on today. Starting at 8 o'clock, I'll share the live stream. Man, not a fan of Paris. Yeah, I do get that because of that sharp switchback that they have going through the middle. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I love the facility it's around though. You know, you have the Eiffel Tower. You have oh yeah, yeah, it's really tight. Like whenever I went down there for the World Championship qualifier in 2021, and at the time it was the USA Pump Track Series. Um, of course, I had to pick up that front tire just so I could guide my bike through that tight area. I mean, that was rough. Kudos to all those pros that were out there that weekend. I don't know how they did it, but anyways, yeah, We'll be checking out the podcast later on tonight. So yeah, it'll be 8 o'clock tonight. Hope to see you guys there. We'll be checking in along with Beer Budget. So, but anyways, I'm gonna jump off here. Of course, over the last few days, we've had snow. I don't know if you guys snow down there in Texas. I know around the Louisiana, Mississippi area, they have like a huge ice storm going on. But yeah, hope to see you guys tonight. Oh, you guys got snow. Dang, it actually went that far south. Yeah, well, I think we got close to 7, 8 inches here in Northwest Arkansas. Well, at least here in Springdale. So, but anyways, hope to see you guys tonight. I'll be tuning in, and yeah, and of course, I am live stream on Facebook and YouTube now. So check that out. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Um, of course, there is one of the segments that I want to bring back, and I think it'd be great. I'm still working on the little details of it, but some if you want to be a guest on the show, we're going to try to start that sometime this summer, and hopefully that'll be a, a few banger shows. Of course, I'm going to do one guest a month to kind of keep the number down and some of the bigger shows, some big views. So yeah, hope to see you guys soon. Of course, I'll be doing another show next weekend. And yeah, hope to see you guys later.